Well, this is coming close on the heels of the out in the open split between judges of the Supreme Court in yet another controversy, it seems, which has put the Supreme Court's position as an institution at stake. Supreme Court today has referred to a larger bench to resolve a near crisis-like situation arising from a three-judge Supreme Bench overruling another three-judge bench. This is with respect to a judgment on land acquisition. So there are two separate benches at loggerheads with respect to one circumstance. Let's get in further inputs here from details coming in here on this from our correspondent Meenakshi Bhanja. As far as three-judge bench opposed to another bench's opposition here in the land acquisition case, what this really means here, would this be referred to a larger bench then?
Well, Seher, this is at the outset quite unprecedented turn of events, and this, like you rightly pointed out, is coming so close on the heels of the out in the open split, where we all remember for the first time ever in the history of Indian judiciary, we had 4 sitting Supreme Court judges address a press conference. So this particular incident, which is coming close on the heels of that incident, the earlier incident, is putting the majesty of the Supreme Court really at stake. This is a new collision course which is being sought to be averted, and the bone of contention here, the moot question which has led to this scenario, Sahel, is the fact that can a three-judge bench of the Supreme Court overrule the earlier judgment of yet another three-judge bench of the Supreme Court on the same issue? That is the bone of contention. And if it has been done, does it tantamount to tinkering with judicial discipline? And yesterday we saw one of the judges from the earlier bench, Honorable Justice Kurian Joseph, come out and make some scathing remarks about how this tantamounted to judicial impropriety, because of which today's developments have arisen, Seher. Both the three-judge combination of the judges on the likewise issue of land acquisition, where they have had divergent views, now needs to be settled and addressed by a larger bench composition, larger than 3 judges bench composition of the Supreme Court. But the big news here is the fact that this is a discordant note within the Supreme Court. This is a collision course within the Supreme Court sitting judges, which again has spilled out into the open, but not quite in a very aggravated way as was the earlier split between the Supreme Court judges, when we saw 4 judges addressing a press conference perhaps for the first time. But nonetheless, this also assumes a lot of import, because this is for the second time we are seeing the Supreme Court judges on a collision course.
Absolutely, Meenakshi. Yet another crisis here, it seems, unseen of in the Supreme Court. Many thanks for getting us those inputs.